here we go. So this workout kicks off another week of training. This is Monday evening. This past week, January 8th. The weeks are kind of shaping up now where I'm having the guys come over, different guys, on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. So what we're doing, especially because it's winter and it is cold, is we're trying to keep the heart rate up to some extent for the most part. Sometimes we'll do workouts that are more muscular fatigue than really pumping the heart rate, but generally speaking, we're trying to stay warm, and we are trying to make good use of the space. So we've been doing a lot of AMRAPs or EMOMs where we're sort of moving to different stations so we're not bumping into each other. And so it's always been a fun process for me to think of different workouts that work for the number of people that are going to be in the space, that work for the capabilities of the different people in the space, and also work in terms of what equipment we have and how clean that will be. So it's always been a good time doing that, and it seems like, we're all enjoying it. So I am sort of focused right now on primarily making sure I'm getting my back squat progression day in and a cardio day in. And then the other usually 3 training days usually are going to look something like this, where we're doing different Metcon style workouts. And I'm keeping an eye on all the different movements that I'm getting in throughout the week and what my goals are. I'm really wanting to focus on a lot of overhead pressing this year, as well as, everything, I suppose, but overhead pressing is important because that's always been a weak point. So we are doing a lot of that on this workout here. We are getting the double dumbbell ground to overheads in, and then we're also on the one movement, we're doing 10 double dumbbell ground to overheads and 10 burpees. And then another movement, we're doing that kettlebell overhead step back lunge, as well as 10 windmills and alternating 5 per side. And then plus getting some horizontal pressing in on the bench press there with 8 bench press, a couple of pull-ups, and then the Monkey Bar there and back Traverse. So I try and keep an eye to what the Monday and Wednesday workouts look like, because usually it's more or less the same handful of guys that are coming. And so I try and build out a somewhat kind of mini 1 week kind of full body situation across those 2 days. And so that's also another added element that makes these things kind of fun. And then more recently I've had my buddy Dave from church come over on Tuesday mornings, and so we're kind of doing that same thing. And so it's only with Dave, it's once a week, and so I'm not necessarily focused on getting a full body all around thing in just one workout, but I'm keeping a sense of the real fundamental movements, as well as a bias towards the things that I'm just working on right now. And so again, we're doing more pressing. We did 2 8-minute AMRAPs. Again, it's just a practical way to program, and lets everybody push at their own pace, rather than if we're doing a 21:15:9 or something that is sort of a race to the finish. This keeps everybody starting and ending at the same time, and keeps them moving weights that are workable for them, so we can change weights out in between workouts. So anyway, we're doing 5 push press and 15 box step overs, just with 20-pound dumbbells, nothing crazy. And then the other workout for 8 minutes is 50 single unders and 2 sandbag over the shoulder with that 100-pound sandbag. But every round we're adding 25 single unders and we're adding 1 sandbag over the shoulder. So I think I got through the round of 150 right here, and then I had about 30 seconds left, and so I just attacked that sandbag, and I think I got 6 sandbag over the shoulders in maybe it was 36 seconds, something like that. So I was happy with that effort at the end. So I think that worked out to 500 single unders, and I can't remember now, something like 20 or 22 sandbag over the shoulders. So that was good. I feel like those single unders are really starting to come together for me. I've been doing probably at least 1,000 a week for a handful of weeks now, so it is slowly coming together. At some point I'll have to pivot over to trying to focus on double unders more, but I can only string together like 2 of those at a time, and it seems to take great effort for whatever reason. So one step at a time. But this rounds out the Tuesday morning workout. Always nice to get these things in the morning and feel like you got to win first thing before work. And so, I misspoke. And switch. Good times. So anyway, it has been really cool since I sort of reimagined this gym space and did a big reno in spring 2023 to make this space, I think, that much nicer to be in. And it seems like it's played a part in having some of these guys start coming over more often. So we've really strung a good, at least 6 months of a bunch of guys coming over. So that has been very cool. And selfishly, it helps me because it keeps me consistent and it keeps me programming things that are interesting or somewhat challenging if I'm just by myself. I think that's why I just do the back squatting or the cardio stuff by myself, because sometimes when there's people coming over, there's a certain amount of motivation to maybe write something a little bit spicier, a little bit more interesting. And if you're by yourself, you may or may not. So this one, Sam got there first thing in the morning, and then I and Jordan kind of rolled in and we started getting after it. I had an idea in my head from a video I'd watched the night before. And so this was different movements than I'd watched, but this was the rep scheme of it, or the pattern. So this is every minute on the minute for 24 minutes, where the first minute we did max kettlebell deadlifts with those 53-pound kettlebells. Then we rested a minute, and then we did a minute of max air squats in minute 3, then rest a minute. Then in minute 5, we do max ring rows, and then we rest a minute. So again, sort of keeping a broader eye to what I'm doing throughout the week. I needed to get a little bit of squatting in because I hadn't done really any squatting other than the sort of, I guess you could say, the sandbag over the shoulder a little bit. But so this was the first real kind of squatting movement that I was doing this week. I wanted to get more deadlifting in. There's been a little bit of hip hinging already with the sandbag movements and the windmills, I guess, earlier in the week. But this was a good opportunity to get some volume in. So I think I got about 130 of those 130 of those deadlifts. And then about 130 air squats. And that was kind of the end of it. So a good pattern of 3 days, and we'll catch you in the next one.